how does the Spark app compare to DoorDash's? If you don't have service where you are, does the Spark app still function to some level?
Good morning. Hey, it's a great morning.
It does have glitches.
And you're talking about Spark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's big. Like you know how sometimes DoorDash would just have a nationwide problem. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Occasionally that will happen. Like that, it happened not long ago with the shopping app. When I was shopping.
In the middle of a shop?
Yeah, I started to do a
boy.
shop, and I think I did 2 items, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't tell me where the items were. I knew exactly where they were because I'm good at it, but I kept thinking that's weird. Why is it doing that? And then all of a sudden it just kind of stopped to where you couldn't move forward. And I was like, is this my phone or is it something else? And so I just got off to the side and I closed it out, did all the stuff, and nothing was working. So I went ahead and called them and said, it just said, we're having an issue.
So how did they handle that? Did they pay you more, the same, or like?
I want to say, I don't know whether I think that, they'll compensate you. If I think I had to end up canceling it, and they did compensate me. I don't remember how much it was. I want to say it was like half pay or almost all of it.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. It does, right? All right. So what about like tip transparency? One of the biggest complaints on DoorDash is not knowing what you're really gonna make. Right? Is Spark more upfront with that stuff?
They are for the most part.
I don't like the answer. I don't like that answer. Go ahead.
This is for the most part, it's okay. It's kind of like an Uber thing. You do have the chance of getting tip baited. Okay. If the order says $25 and that's the other thing, your tip won't come. It's not like Uber where you'll find out whether you get it within an hour. With Spark, you have 24 hours.
Wow.
So yeah, it's 24 hours before you get the full tip. But that, like I said, that's knowing where you're going, and knowing your market and knowing the customers that, the area that you do. To be honest, I don't think I've ever been tip baited. Maybe once in the very beginning when I first started.
When you were a new Spark driver. I wanted to find the right words. I wanted to talk a little crap to you, but I couldn't find the words. But okay, all right.
It's okay, yeah. But for the most part, if I see $25 and I know what I'm doing, I know I'm going to have that $25.
Confidence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So if something goes wrong, all right, you know the DoorDash support in the background, right? So I need to know if something goes wrong, like missing items, late order, whatever, issues with the store, right? Something that's beyond your control to some level, right? How's Spark's driver support team? Are they actually helpful or just reading scripts?
I think it depends on who you get.
I don't like these answers, Mo.
I know. But the thing is you don't have to call them very often.
Ooh.
That's the whole thing.
Okay.
Every once in a while you have to call them. And because like the app messes up and it won't go through or something, and you just have to call them. It may take a minute. It's more of it takes a minute to get them on the phone, and they've got a very, like they always do. It's your email and, make sure it's you and all that sort of stuff. But for the most part, I mean, they're pretty easy to work with, but you don't really have to call them that much.
Okay, that's cool. It would be different if, and on DoorDash, it's almost all the time something wrong. Not all the time for all the DoorDash lovers out there. I know. That's not my experience. I don't know what he talking about. Put it in the comments. Yeah, I know. It's not all the time, but usually there's an issue. Sometimes it's at the drop off. Sometimes it's at the pickup, because the pickup was due like 10 minutes ago. And then if you forgot that you got to now notify them in the app, what's that thing called where you got to let it know, like, they need extra time at the restaurant or whatever. The store is busy? Or, you remember that? Yeah. We haven't done DoorDash in so long, we forgot all those options, right? So, if you don't do that, then there's a possible contract violation that's going to hit your account, right? Because you didn't let them know, right? So anyway, it's good to hear that you don't even really need to contact them, right? As much, because that lets me know with this type of work, independent contractor, those two words mean a lot to me. Meaning, like that first word, independent, I'm not gonna say hate, I almost did, but I really dislike the fact that there are some drivers that go above and beyond to not be independent, because it comes off more like, I'm a great worker. Move me up, boss. Yeah. Like I almost said hate again, but I severely dislike when drivers come off that way. But I also understand they come from a W-2. When I came from a W-2, I wasn't that way, right? So to hear that you don't have to contact them as much makes me feel like, oh man, there's a lot of independence in this, on working that app. You know what I mean? Versus, you might have the occasional, hey, I have an issue, I need support to help me, right? But majority of the time, you are going to be independent. You're going to be making your decisions after you accept your order, and you're going to get it done. Substitutions, boom. Contact the customer, boom. If the customer don't want that, boom. It's like it's all between you and customer at that point versus running the DoorDash, hey, I need help, right?
Right.
All right, and I could appreciate that. Even if they're still gonna make you work, they're still gonna throw incentives at you and bonuses and all that stuff to make you do more for maybe about the same type of pay. Because there's a lot of questions, not a lot, but a few questions you answered that made me feel like, oh man, it's kind of still like DoorDash, But it's okay, right? I still like the fact that there's more independence here where you don't have to rely on support that much. I know Instacart, shoot, I think they contact support just as much as the customers do. And
I think they're quick to throw violations at you too.
Oh my gosh, I done heard some things.
Oh yeah. What time it is, D-Fan?